Okay, when we left off here, we ended up with, if I go to AutoCAD, we should have basically what you're looking at here. We've got our wedge shapes here, we've got our back section here. Now, off camera, I did use the union tool and combine the two shapes you had here. And if you're just doing that, all you have to do is click the solid union button right here, and then you choose the two shapes that you want to join into one, and then you hit enter, and it should take away any lines that separate them. So right now this is one piece, and I did that because the next step I'm going to drill some holes in this. I'm not really going to drill them, but that's how I like to refer to it. And so that way it's less work later, I guess. So it's not much less, but it is less. So I'm going to start with these back two holes, and I'll just kind of work my way down as I go. So we need a hole here, we need a big hole here, and then we're going to have two sets of holes in each corner, one all the way through and one a little wider but not quite all the way through, like you would drill something like that to make room for like the head of a screw or a bolt, something like that, to be recessed and flush along a surface. So we'll take care of that there. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at my drawing, and I can see that these holes are 3/4 inch from the top, 3/4 of an inch from the side, and they are 5/8 inch in diameter. I'll probably have to come back and look at that again, but I know 3/4 and 3/4 I can keep in my head. So let me get that out of there. Let's do that. So I'm going to just ID, and I'm going to choose this corner right here. You could choose either one, but the numbers you type in will be different depending on what you do. So I'm going to type ID. I'm going to come over to here, and I'm going to choose a cylinder. And from that point I ID'd, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hover my mouse over the blue, over this front face, and that sort of tells AutoCAD, like, okay, well, the coordinates that I'm going to get are going to be kind of based on that face. So then I'm going to type in my center point at 0.75, comma, negative 0.75. And then that should bring that there. Looks good to me. I'm going to choose a diameter. And I said I wanted a diameter of 5/8 of an inch. Well, 4/8 of an inch is 0.5. It's the same as a half. 1/8 of an inch is 0.125. So if I do 0.5 plus 0.125, I'm going to get 0.625 as my decimal diameter. And I'm just going to go ahead and have this go way back. There it goes. Hooray. All right, now I can actually just use the mirror tool. I could do the same thing over here and use negative numbers, whatever. There's so many ways to do stuff in AutoCAD, but I enjoy using the mirror tool. So I'm going to choose mirror, choose my shape, hit enter, and then I need to choose an axis through which to reflect that. So I'm just going to go and choose the middle of these shapes. Note how I chose the middle of the back, middle of this edge right here, and I'm going to go straight down to the middle of this. Nothing happens because it says delete source objects, and it says N in that kind of greater than less than sign, less than greater than sign. That means no, I don't want to delete the other one. So I hit enter, and it will mirror it around there. And at this point, what you can do, I said it would be a little easier this way, so I'm going to choose the subtract from my Boolean area here, and to subtract, I'm going to subtract from this shape, and the thing I'm going to subtract is this and this. So I click those, I hit enter, and voila, we've got some holes in my shape in the right spot, and they're the right size. So there we go. All right, I said I'm going to work my way down. I'm not going to worry about the arching bit right here just yet. That's a little bit more in depth, but that will come later. So I'm just going to worry about the things that I'm drilling straight through. A little easier to wrap your head around. The other one, it's not too bad. I've set you up for success. If you've scaled this guy and moved it, you're on the road. So let's take a look back here at my flange. I can see that this circle right here, the middle of it is 2 1/8 inch from the bottom, and I know it's centered right here. It doesn't give me an indicator, but visually I can see it. I can reason that that's the case. If it was different, it would probably be dimension. So I just need to find the middle and 2 1/8 inch from the bottom. But not the bottom of the bottom of this edge. So let's go back here. And so let's see, I can do this a couple of ways. I'm going to go with ID. I'm going to ID this corner. Whether I use that number right now, I will see. I think I will. I'm going to choose cylinder, and I'm going to light this face up blue. Okay, now this guy right here should be 3.5 inches long. So if I want to move up in the axis half of that, I want to move up in the x-axis. Well, I'm going to go with at, and let's see, 3.5, so it's 0.25, 1.5, 1.75. I did that kind of in my head. I did it kind of quickly. I just took half of 0.5, which is 0.25. I took half of 3, which is 1.5. So 0.25 plus 1.5, 1.75. And I'm going to go comma, and I'm going to go, that was 2 1/8, I think, but it's worth checking. 2 1/8. So 2.125. That should get me right exactly in the middle, and that should be a 2-inch diameter. Double checking, yes, that's a 2-inch diameter. So I hit the letter D for diameter, and then I type in 2. Boom, there it goes. And then I just make sure that I go all the way through the back. And then I can subtract this one now, or I can wait. The other thing I want to check before I do subtract is that it doesn't interfere with this wedge. If it's going to go through this wedge at all, then I need to do another union first, which wouldn't harm anything if you had to do that, but you want to do it before you need to. Okay, so I'll choose my subtract again right here, and I'm going to choose my object I'm subtracting from, hit enter, choose the one I want to take away, enter again, gone. Kind of looks like it's like, oh no. Used to be a guy named Mr. Bill, I think, on some TV show that I never watched, but he was famous for saying, oh no. Now this is where it's a good thing we didn't fillet our edges. You always want to wait till the end to fillet or chamfer any edges, because you still want to deal with your corners on your terms. And if you round these early, then you got to do a little bit of work. It's not impossible, but it is more work to do it ahead of time. So I'm going to head back to this here, and it looks like from the edge I'm 3/4 and 3/4. Okay, and let's see, I can see that one of these, let's see, I'm 1 1/4 inches from that edge. I don't really need that because I have this edge, but this doesn't tell me the diameters of these holes. So I have to look here. I've got 1/2 inch diameter holes and one diameter, that would be 1 inch diameter counter bore. So this bigger one is my 1 inch diameter, smaller is 1/2. The 1/2 is going to go all the way through. The counter bore is this one that makes room. You might have heard us use the term countersink in a different class if we countersunk holes. And we're going to have that in 4 places. So let's do the drill hole all the way through first and set it up, and then we will set up our counter bore hole. And I'm just going to choose one. So 1/2 inch diameter, 3/4, 3/4. Let's go with that. I'll do one corner first. I'm going to use the mirror tool this time as well, because I love it. When you can use it, it makes it so easy. Okay, from here, highlight the blue. I did my ID. I didn't say it out loud, but I did it. I ID'd this corner. From here, I'm going to go at 0.75, comma 0.75. Enter. Bada bing. And it's got a 1/2 inch diameter, so I hit D, and that is 0.5. Enter. And then you can just drag that down through the bottom. As long as it's poking through the bottom, you are good. And at this point, I want to do my other hole. So I choose cylinder again. And this time, if you look here, if you grab like the sides, you'll get a little cross there in the center. And that'll put you right back on the center of the other one, which is great. So now, this one has a diameter of 1. So I'll go with that. And a depth, I think, of 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 deep, 4 places. Okay. So then we're just going to go 0.125. I think we want to go negative 0.125. I thought I typed a negative 0.125. Oh, I hit a 0 last time. We'll do that. And looky there. That looks good. Let me check it from the front to make sure it didn't go up. Sometimes it looks like it went the right direction, but it didn't. So now I'm going to use the mirror tool, and it doesn't matter what order you go in, really, but let's go ahead and use it. So I'm going to go to 3D mirror. I want to mirror the outside and the inside circle, both objects, and then hit enter. And then the plane that I want to rotate them through is going to be the middle of this. Let's go up to the middle of... Oh, change my view just a little bit. It doesn't want to snag the middle of this one. The middle of that one. And then somewhere along here, like that one. We don't want to get rid of anything. Look at that. You could also do this with another tool called an array. But for this instance, I think this is going to be the best tool. So I'm going to go back to mirror now. And this time I'm going to mirror both this one. I'm going to mirror this one. And I'm going to mirror this one. And this one, and we're just going to go to the back, so it'll place them automatically where I want them to be. So I hit enter with those 4 shapes selected, and then it's going to have me choose a plane. So this time I'm going to choose the middle side over here, choose the middle of this piece over here, and let's go all the way over to the middle of this one. No, we don't want to delete. There it is. Ready to go. So now I am just going to subtract. So I'm going to grab my subtract button right here, and I'm going to click the shape I'm going to take away from, the shape from which I'm going to take away, if I want to be completely grammatically correct. And I hit enter, and now I'm going to start clicking my cylinders. Come on. There it goes. There it is. Hit enter. There we go. Got counterbore holes. It starts to look pretty good pretty quickly. There we go. So that should be all the holes I need. You know, it's worth sometimes looking around back. I'm pretty sure those do go all the way through, and they do. Okay. So make sure I hit save. Catch you in the next video.